Hello!
Welcome back to our YouTube channel. We know this video is a few days late and we said we'd post it on Friday, but we've had a bit of building work in the background so it just really wasn't possible to film. We're excited to lead you through all about Goldmine areas today.
Exactly, so stay tuned, we've got a lot of stuff to cover today. It's not going to be too long, but make sure you hit the like and subscribe button below. And without further ado, let's get started. Start off by simply explaining what Goldmine area actually is. It's very simple and easy to understand. All a Goldmine area is the area that you're choosing to invest for your property business. So this can be applicable for deal sources or investors alike.
Yep, so when you're trying to find a property to invest in, you need to conduct due diligence to work out if it's going to make you money, if you've got the demand. There's a lot of variables. It is much easier to carry out this process if you've chosen one specific area to focus in, because if you commit to that area, you're really going to be able to focus, become an expert and have really in-depth knowledge rather than trying to spread yourself too thin. So doing this before you look at properties specifically to understand an area first will really help you make sure you know whether that property is going to be a good profit or loss for you and really help you make better investment decisions.
Exactly, and guys, you know, the process, of finding your Goldmine area can actually take a bit long sometimes. So one thing that we did just to shorten and, narrow down the actual process, one of the steps was, first of all, we like to just make sure that it's commutable for ourselves. It's not too much of a drive. Another point as well, we like to make sure it's an area that we are vaguely familiar with as well. This saves any hassle going in blind eye and we don't know anything about the area. And thirdly, we like to make sure that we can actually go there in person, which is very important. Going there in person, make sure that we can build a relationship with the estate agent, letting agent, whoever necessary in order to get the snowball moving, as it were.
So that is just how we initially narrowed down our search for Coventry, because there were just a few things we knew we wanted for our business. But if you can't actually go in person, then it is fine. You can do this completely remotely with nowadays technology. As the pandemic has shown, you can even do viewings virtually now. So if you can't get to your area or something's holding you back, then you could run your business remotely as long as you do have the research and knowledge to back it up.
Exactly, so guys, let's not waste no time. We're going to show you our 6 steps when finding the Goldmine area. Okay guys, first point is going to be supply.
So you really can't set up your business somewhere if there just isn't enough properties fitting your criteria to sustain that business.
Exactly, so this is really important, guys. So when you're conducting the due diligence process and crunching the numbers, you're going on Zoopla, Rightmove, wherever the platform is, and you're searching for how many properties are in that area. And let's say, for argument's sake, there's about 100 properties that is within your budget. This might be a good indicator not to choose that area.
Definitely.
Simply because this is just not enough properties to have a consistent business year in and year out. So supply is really crucial. You want to make sure that there's a good amount of properties in that area. It's a competitive market, so you can imagine there's going to be other investors, deal sources, whoever it is that's also going to be investing in that area as well.
So simply put, because there's not enough properties, you're probably going to have to end up moving your business somewhere else eventually anyway. So it's better to start somewhere where you really can see yourself long term. So a second thing that we looked for and we thought was a really good way to pick out your Goldmine area was to look for if there was going to be growth in the area. Now, I've spoken about this in the last video about the regeneration that's occurring in Coventry, and this is quite a good thing to look for because it will indicate that your property is going to be added and go up in value just because of the regeneration and development going on in an area. So that is a good way to look for the potential growth of your property.
Exactly, and another way that you can actually add value in terms of the whole growth aspect here is looking to see if there's any refurbishments that can actually be done on the property itself. So can a loft conversion be done? Can an outhouse in the back of the garden be built? These are good ways that will in turn add value to the property.
So on a wider basis, you can look for regeneration and development, but if you yourself can look at property, is it cheap enough? Can you add value to it yourself? There are both ways that growth can be created.
here we have demand.
Yep, so I obviously made a really big deal about this in the last video. Demand is the most important thing for your property, because even if it's a beautiful property, really well furnished, if there's not the demand in the area, you're not going to make money from it. So me and Josh have a rule that if we're going to look at a property for our clients, it has to have 3 backup options of tenants to make sure it's fully occupied. You can look for a demand as in, is there a student population? Are there families who are wanting to rent? Is there a business district for young professionals? Is there a hospital? These are all different ways you can find demand, but make sure you've got different types of demand to make sure your property is going to be fully tenanted through different eventualities.
Okay guys, so number 4 here we have returns, which is of course the bread and butter of any property deal. You want to make sure that you're getting a good monthly income from your property. And the average general rule of thumb that every investor says, you mainly want to get an average yield of 7% or more.
Yeah, definitely at least 7%.
Exactly. This will indicate that the property is actually going to be worth your time.
Yeah.
So this being said, what you're going to want to do is run a lot of tests on the properties in the area, making sure that the average return is there for you.
Okay guys, so number 5, something you need to keep in mind from the beginning of your search is budget. This is a really simple one. Even if it's a great area, great demand, great houses, but you don't have the actual money to afford a house, or your clients don't, then there's really no point. So you should have a strict budget in mind when you start out, and really let this guide your search initially to narrow it down for you. And then within an area, the prices can vary from street to street. So make sure you always have your budget in mind to really understand what you can afford and what sort of strategy you should use.
So guys, last but not least is number 6, which is knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not really relatable with the other factors that we said before in terms of narrowing down the search. However, it is probably the most important. As you guys, I'm sure you guys have heard before, they always say it's not what you know, it's who you know, but in this case, it's definitely what you know.
Yeah.
So make sure that when you're going into the area of choice, you know your numbers, you know the people in the area as much as possible, you know where to invest in terms of whatever strategy you want, and basically make sure you know exactly what you're doing. This will help you so much in the long term and short term.
Yeah, so really becoming an expert in your area is the best thing you can do for yourself and your investors. Knowledge in property investment is the most crucial thing you can have. People actually pay us for ours. That is what a deal sourcer is. Someone is coming to you because they either don't know enough quite about the area, or they don't have the time to commit to the process and really follow it through. So really your knowledge is your most important asset, and it is the best way to ensure great results for your own investments and for your clients.
Once you have found your goldmine area, you are more than free to branch off and go into another area.
Definitely.
But we don't totally recommend that until you really become an expert in that area. But if you have, then why not diversify your business and your portfolio?
Yeah, so this was just how we've personally done it. Obviously, different investors have different requirements and would do it differently. And like Josh said, we just picked one area to focus on at the start to become really good at what we do. And later on, we will also diversify different places. But we hope this did help. And even though you may have slightly different things you're looking for, maybe our tips will help you along the way.
Exactly. So guys, hit the like and subscribe button. We're really excited. We've got a lot of videos coming.
Yeah.
Thank you for being patient with us as well in terms of this video. We're really grateful. But yeah, stick along for the journey, and we've got a lot to show.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
And take care.